Hey yo, salute to the people. It's the social forecast. Salute to all my subscribers. Special shout out to everybody else passing through YouTube. What's good? All right. So for all my real hip hop fans from back in the day, I hear this shit. Y'all know it got that old school feel. What I'm listening to right now is we're gonna switch it up a little bit. What I'm listening to right now is, and this is like my fifth or sixth time checking out the album. I'm a little bit late on the review. But this that METHOD, man, for real. I remember the first time I heard Method Man, I was in, Jesus Christ, third grade, fourth grade. Shit goes all the way back. Early 90s. I fuck with Meth, yo. Meth is just a whole different type of artist, yo, for real. He gives that old school hip hop feel. When older heads like me talk about hip hop and the state of the culture of hip hop now and how everything is just it's just not what it used to be. This is the type of shit that we're talking about. Obviously, this is a more, a more current feel, updated feel for present time. But anytime you hear a Method Man, a Redman on a track, anytime you hear that, even one of the songs, they got Nori on here. Anytime you hear artists like that, you know that you're gonna get that old school, that back in the day feel that people from my generation grew up listening to and fell into hip hop, fell in love with hip hop. Because my generation is from that golden era of hip hop. It's never gonna be the way it was. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as I found out this album dropped, immediately was all over it. 22 songs, and I'll be real with y'all too. There's a few songs on this album that I'm not really, I guess you could say, not really all that crazy about. But overall, I feel like Method Man can still do what he does. He's a crazy lyricist. He always has been. But he also has a crazy ass flow. Method Man's flow is kind of like nobody else you really heard before. You know what I'm saying? Because he has that voice, the inflection, and the way he flows his rhyme patterns. It all plays into what makes him a dope ass artist. Now, of course, just being nostalgic, being the old head that I am at the tender age of 35. Season 1, Meth Lab Season 1, obviously is you know what I'm saying, classic. It's classic. You know what I'm saying? Meth and Redman doing what they do is fucking classic. It's good to see the artists that I really grew up with, learning about hip hop, listening to for the first time. It's good to see them come back and still be able to do what they do at a high level. This type of album obviously is not going to be for everybody, but I feel like all the people in my generation, the real hip hop fans, from when hip hop was still hip hop, and you didn't have to try and figure out all of these different subsets and subgenres and all these different things that, while I respect it, it's just not my cup of tea. You feel me? So when we hear a Method Man coming back and doing his thing again on the album, 22 songs, so he was not playing. You know what I'm saying? He really wanted to drop some music for the fans from back in the day. I fuck with that. Appreciate it. But I feel like Meth can still do it. You know what I'm saying? I obviously a lot of people, Meth has always been, an acquired taste as far as the music goes. Pause. But real true hip hop heads have always concurred that Method Man is he's a lyrical dude. He's crazy nice with the pen. He was at one point in time one of the best in the game as far as, just pitting some shit and just making it be hot. Redman's up there, of course, as well. Meth drops an album. I'm gonna listen to it. I don't care how old he gets. Redman drops an album. I'm gonna check it out. I don't care how old he gets, because it's just certain artists that they bring that different type of feel to hip hop, and that's just the way it is. Even people like Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Who people I feel like slept on back in the day. Ice Cube was crazy lyrical for his time. You know what I'm saying? He wrote lyrics for people who was considered, among the hottest in the game. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had no NWA. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have had no Eazy-E. And for those of you who disagree with that, shit, Eazy-E said it himself on a record. Ice Cube writes the rhymes that I say. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I just came through to just briefly give my thoughts on the album. I'm curious to know what y'all think of it. For my old head hip hop fans, this shit, man, this shit. I won't say like it's crazy fire, but for what I think it served its purpose. I think for what it was meant to be, and I think for the audience that it was supposed to cater to, it definitely did that. So go check out the Method Man album, Meth Lab Season 2, the Lithium. I think is dope. One thing I do wish. I don't want to say I wanted like a total Redman collab. He's definitely all over the album. He's not on. I would have liked to have seen Redman on some more songs on this album. I'm looking at the playlist right now, and I really only see one. You got the feature with Cardi B. I fuck with that. Got Sheek Louch. I know that's a dope track when you get Meth and Sheek Louch together. Sheek Louch he's a different type of rapper. Like he don't. Certain people it takes him to feature on certain types of records to really bring out what Sheek has to offer. I really only see Redman on one of these tracks. I don't really see Redman on any other. From what I'm looking at here, I don't remember hearing him on a bunch of songs. I really only see him on this one episode 5 Wildcats. Yeah, man. I feel like if Redman was on a few more songs, I feel like I would have liked the album a little bit more, because something about when Method Man and Redman come together to do an album, or when they come together on multiple songs, it's just a certain type of energy. Meth and Redman have that. They got that Jada Kiss Styles P back and forth energy. They got that Biggie and Jay Brooklyn's finest energy. Like you hear them two on the track, you know it's gonna be fire when you hear that. When you hear that Redman and Method Man back and forth, it's you don't need nobody else on that shit. Nobody. And if y'all don't believe me, go back and check out the Meth Lab Season 1. Go check that shit out. But yeah, man, I didn't mean to make this one too crazy long. Not a lot of skip-worthy tracks on here, and that could probably be because, it's a nostalgia there with me, with Meth. You know what I'm saying? He was one of my favorite artists back in the day. Back in the day in middle school, if you didn't fuck with Wu-Tang Clan, if you didn't fuck with Method Man, you was just a fucking outcast. You know what I'm saying? Everybody who called themselves a hip-hop fan, everybody who was anybody, and listened to hip-hop, you listen to Meth, you listen to Redman. I even fucked with Judgment Day. A lot of people didn't fuck with that album, but I fucked with Judgment Day. Pretty much anything that Meth does, I feel like it's gonna be current. I feel like he's still gonna have that ability to do what he does, and that's just my opinion. And I feel like, and I know the older heads are gonna agree with that, because Meth is just different, He's just different. Then you throw him on a couple tracks with Redman, and there's not a lot of people in the game right now who could fuck with them, and that's just real shit from my opinion. But anyway, Meth Lab Season 2, the Lithium, Method Man dropped about a week or so ago. I'm a little bit late doing a review, but I really wanted to sit with the album. I really wanted to get that old school feel. Definitely can say I'm not disappointed. I'm not going to go through the whole track list, because that's not really what I listened to this album for. See, I judge current albums a little bit differently, just because, nowadays it's like albums are not really albums. They really are just like a playlist. And when it comes to hip hop like this, I judge it a little bit differently, because I know that I can't be too biased, but then at the same time it's hard, because these are the artists who I grew up listening to. So you drop a Method Man album, that shit's not, 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be trash. 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna give it an 8 or 9 out of 10 just because it's that back in the day shit. You know what I'm saying? Music is one of the strongest connectors to emotions and memories. Like you could listen to a song, a hip hop song, R&B song, jazz, whatever you into, country, and that song will put you back in a place in the past. You know what I'm saying, where you might have been going through certain shit, or you might just instantly get visions of what you was doing around the time that you first started hearing that song. That's just how strong music is as far as being connected to us and to memory and all that. Um, so whenever I hear Method Man, I get that old school feel, and I'm gonna be biased. It's hard not to be biased. So I give this album, to be fair, because I feel like I don't want to be biased, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Just because my ears are still trained. My ears are still trained to this type of shit. Um, and I still feel like Meth could do it at a high level. So once again, go check out the Meth Lab Season 2, Lithium, by Method Man. Dope ass tracks on here. He has some dope features, but it's damn near feature on every song. Which that in most other cases could get annoying, because when you get an album, download an album, stream an album from one of your favorite artists, or at least an artist that you like a lot, like to listen to, you don't want to feel like it's too feature heavy, because you know what I'm saying, you got that album so you could listen to that person that you fuck with. Having said that though, man, it's a cool vibe. You know what I'm saying? I think it's gonna do what it needs to. You know what I'm saying? Meth, the whole Wu, all of them, any of those dudes from back in the day, they drop a project, they drop an album, and just because of that core following, I mean, listen, it was video games, it was clothes. They had their own fucking clothes. The shit, yo, all of their shit was hot. Shit was fire, all of it. You know, you fucked with Wu-Tang for the whole experience. Like, it wasn't just this song or that album or this one person. Like, you had your favorite person in the whole Wu clique, but even though you had your favorite person, you fucked with everybody. You know what I'm saying? You fucked with all of them, and I fucked with all of them. And that just is what it is. All right, bro. Let me know what y'all think about this one. I don't pretend to know everything. I just know what I know. Method Man album review, Season 2, Meth Lab, Lithium. Check it out. Let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace and love.